Hey everybody, I wanted to share a little bit about um, my experience of suppressing ticking and learning to suppress less. Some months ago, I made a decision to stop suppressing my ticking when I'm with people, and when I'm in public, and kind of as an experiment. And it's well, I'm sure it's different for everybody, but I think for a majority of folks with Tourette's, it's not simple or easy to just do that. And so at first, I was living in Mexico City at the time, and I would go to have my lunch every day at a restaurant. I'd be alone. And I would sit down, and immediately I would have the thought, oh, I should tick. I just the presence of all these people, it would just compel me, like, oh, I need to tick. Well, so my main vocal tick is this whoop sound that I do. So I would do that pretty loud, actually, so that everybody would hear me. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And at first people they'd stop what they were doing, they'd stop their conversation, everybody would become kind of still. And then after one or two more times, it didn't create that reaction in people. And so as I thought about it over time, there's a lot of different thoughts that come up. But one thing I came to is that I really believe most people, really when it comes down to it, they're not going to sit and judge me. That most people are going to recognize, this guy has some kind of thing going on. And, how can I judge him? And most people recognize, yeah, somebody has some sort of thing, and they probably recognize it's medical. And I think in Mexico City, there's probably less awareness of Tourette syndrome than, say, for example, in North America. I know there's less advocacy here in Mexico. I'm still living in Mexico in a different location. And I don't think most people know that it's Tourette's, but I think that people just feel like, yeah, it's okay, this guy, he's going through something. And as far as it upsetting people, I'm sure that it does. In fact, I know that it upsets people. It upsets me when I do it. Sometimes it's a funny thing, right? It's also liberating, though. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And but as I think about that, and I think, well, this upsets people. One thing is that there's no way to know unless someone gets overtly upset. And two, the only one that I know is what's truly going on is myself. So the best thing, I believe, is to do what I feel is best for me. And that's going to be the best for my, effect in the world, how I affect people. And I think there's something about being genuine that's really helpful to others. So if I'm letting my Tourette syndrome, happen, somehow that seems helpful. Almost, one could say, even kind, because it feels kinder to myself. So how wouldn't that be kinder to others? Maybe that's feeling a bit abstract, but if we can't be ourselves, how are we helping anybody? So that's just, and I know it's not that black and white. It's a complex, question, complex experience. Is it bad that I have tics? Am I bad? No. Am I bad for I'm going to use the word sharing myself with others? No. How could that be bad? Don't get me wrong. I know the feeling of it being bad. The shame and the guilt. And that's part of what I'm trying to work with and work through as I do this experiment of I'm going to tick. Tremendous amount of shame and guilt and these kinds of things. So it's definitely an experiment. but I feel really good I feel much more relaxed when I just let myself tick. So, in the past when I'm with friends, well, in a gathering or with one friend, if I'm sitting there feeling like I have to control my ticking, it just makes me really tight. Well, and there's like this fear of like if I really relax, I'm just gonna go wild or something. So, well, but when I've given now that I've given myself permission, well, to relax with my ticking, I do feel a lot more relaxed when I'm with people. Well, and that can't be a bad thing. It feels really good actually. I feel more relaxed in my life in general. Well, those are some thoughts and sharing some of my experience with that. Well, thank you for watching, and wishing everyone a wonderful day. And take good care. Bye for now.